Ever feel like after you haven't trained in a while, you've started at ground zero again? Well, that hit me pretty hard after a month of no training in Japan. I felt like I lost all my strength when I tried doing the push-up workouts again. After a month and a half, I finally got my strength back and I'm getting even stronger. Here are 5 things I learned while regaining my lost strength. Tip number 1. Give yourself a good warm-up week. Or 2. If you haven't trained in a while, undoubtedly your muscles are not going to be as used to the exercises you were doing before you stopped training. You want to give your body some time to adjust back into doing those certain exercises by giving yourself a good warm-up week. Throughout this video, I'll use push-ups as an example since currently one of my goals is to get 100 good form push-ups. So I basically tried immediately getting back into the exercise program that I was following, and that didn't really work out because my muscles were no longer used to doing that many sets and reps in consecutive days, even with some rest days. What I should have done is do them lightly and work my way back up to the exercise program. And more on that on the next tip. Tip number 2. Start at a few levels lower than where you left off. We'd like to think that we're capable of retaining everything we can do if we miss like a month or 2 of training, but we are not. If we aren't consistent, we will lose some strength, as I have. Once you start your training again after a while, you need to begin at a level or 2 lower than where you left off. If you try to start from where you stopped, you'll find yourself incapable of proceeding, or just you'll find it very difficult and you will become frustrated. Here's an example off of my experiences. I was at week 6 of the 100 push-up program, doing about 9 sets of 20 or so push-ups with about a minute rest in between before I went on the trip, and after 4 weeks I thought I could start at week 5, which is a small step down from week 6, and I was very wrong. I wasn't even close to being able to finish the sets without using my knees for the push-ups. And what's worse is I even tried doing week 6 after week 5 thinking, oh, maybe I just need to push myself harder, and I wasn't even close to the level I was before leaving the trip. What I should have done was start around week 4, where I knew I could have finished each set. That would have gave me a good warm-up week or 2 to ease back into things instead of stumbling on my face. Also to note, a level or 2 lower can sound pretty arbitrary in practice when you don't have a specific program that you're following. Just try your best to judge what that means for your specific exercise and start there, instead of struggling to pick back like right where you left off. Tip number 3. Schedule in soreness. Expect to get sore once you start again, and make sure you consider it while you schedule your training. You might think, I'm going to train this day and then the next day so I can regain my strength as quickly as possible. And then after the first day or 2 you get sore and drop the schedule that you made and you feel like crap. You basically feel like you failed your schedule and failed your plans, and that's not a good feeling. When starting up my training again, I actually got really sore doing very basic things like a few push-ups. Also for tricking, just doing some kicks and regular freezes. That got me so sore, and I didn't factor this into my schedule, so the soreness basically disturbed my performances on the other days where I tried to practice again even though I was sore. And it basically screwed up my whole training schedule and had me at a loss for what to do and what I was actually able to do. So just make sure you expect it to happen so it won't sneak up on you like it did with me. Tip number 4. Make consistency a priority. Be consistent right when you get back into it. This may sound obvious, but it's actually much harder to remain consistent right when you get back into it because you've gotten used to like the whole not training thing. So if you keep it as a priority and just like follow the first 3 steps that I pointed out, you should be in a good position. I found that it was a bit harder to be more consistent from the beginning of trying to get back into training because all of the unexpected soreness and how difficult it actually felt to complete the routine. If you factor in the first 3 tips, you should be able to be consistent from the start, and this will actually help you get back to what you lost as quick as possible. Rushing will only make things more difficult. Tip number 5. Be patient and focus on the progress. So stay cool and be patient. It's going to take some time to actually regain that lost strength. I know how frustrating it can be to have lost a good amount of strength after not training for a while, and it just feels like really crappy, like you'll never improve or so much progress was lost and it just sucks, but stay cool. You should notice that it's easier to make progress to where you once were compared to like the first time getting there. Like maybe it's your second time, third time, who knows, but at least it's easier than the first time. And make sure you don't half-ass your training. Like, focus on the progress instead of the time. Like, don't worry about how long it's going to take you, just focus on the progress and you'll eventually get it back. If you allow the frustration to take over, you'll just be a lot less motivated to train, or you may just go too hard, like thinking I really want it back, and you end up hurting yourself. Alright, those are the main 5 tips that I learned while regaining my lost strength, and it can basically be summarized like this. You want to ease back into training mentally and physically. Right now in my journey to 100 push-ups, I can actually do 68 push-ups, which is 8 more than when I left to Japan. I actually can do it with better form as of right now. You can check out this video if you want to see me at first failing the 60 push-ups and then finally getting it like the next few days. But I'm really looking forward to making that 100 push-up video once I finally get there. It might take me a while, but I'm pretty patient, so I'm willing to work at it continuously until I finally get it. Alright, so all these tips were gathered from my personal experience, and hopefully at least one of these tips could help you guys out. Let me know if you guys had any similar experiences in the comments. Would appreciate all likes and new subscribers. Good luck with your training, everyone.